this time. I hope you guys I hope somebody enjoys this. I hope this is beneficial to somebody. But what I'm going to be doing right now is creating a function in C++. And why I'm doing this is because I just spent an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, looking for a proper tutorial on how to create functions within your C++ code. None exist out there. It's very barren. It's weird. It's like, it's one of those things that people just assume everyone's going to get right away because they got it. But I understand that people have different ways of looking at things, and I need a visual example of something that I can see and emulate in order to learn. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So the objective here today is to create a function that does this. It will calculate, actually what I'm going to do is copy and paste onto the screen here. If I can get the copy function to work properly. Whoa. So what we're going to do is going to break that in half. Probably a couple more times. Like so. Alright, there we go. Ooh, probably should do the right one. Stop it. Alright, there we go. So this is the objective. Calculate 3.4 times of the square of the input number. So whatever the user puts in, you're going to square that number, so times it by itself, and then times it by 3.14. For example, if 2 is the input, then 12.56 should be returned. So this should be 3.14 times 2 times 2, which would come to that total right there. So that's too easy. To start, before you get into the actual code itself, you've got to declare the function. So that's what we're going to do here. Now, these forward slashes that I'm doing are just for admin purposes. They're common courtesy for those who are looking at your code after the fact, to see what exactly was intended with the syntax that you provided. So I'm going to say I'm declaring functions here. Declaring functions. Should be just function because it's all I'm declaring, but that's okay. So because the function itself will be dealing with it's decimals, anything that's not an actual integer, I'm going to be using the float variable. And if you don't know what the float variable is, I suggest you go out and do some research on that. I mean, you should get an idea of what the different types of variables there are within this type of language to figure out which ones you should be using. Integer would just be your whole numbers, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, your float would be like 1.335 or something like that. I mean, that's just a very easy to understand gist of what that exactly means. So we're going to actually go ahead and do a float, and then we're going to call this, we got to come up with a name for this function. So we'll call it I don't know. I mean, what the hell is it supposed to be doing? It calculates the, was that pi? Calculates pi. So I guess we'll call it pi. Oh, if I could type pi. Okay. So we'll go ahead and create. I don't know why it did that. Disregard that. There we go. That's better. That's more better. Okay, so we're going to say we're going to go ahead and declare variables, but we're going to use inside the function. So we'll say float b, just like that, and that should be good. And actually, no, we're going to have to create another one. So float c. Now, technically, you could say int alpha because it's just an integer being put in. And actually, you probably don't need all three, but we'll get to that point here in a minute. Okay, so then we're gonna define float. Hold on one second. See, I just learned this too, so I'm kind of trying to remember. Stand by for a second here. Right. Okay. So we've already done that. So we're going to go ahead and now we're going to create the variable that it's going to actually report the results. So we're going to say float. We can say taste pie. Taste pie. Everything ends with a semicolon. So next we're going to go taste pie, which is a horrible name for a variable, but for the sake of the video. And taste pie is going to equal, in this case, it's going to equal, I'm going to say A times B. Well, actually, it'll be A times A, and then we're going to say times 3.14. So we don't even need to have anything but an A in there. That's it. And then we'll end this. Okay? And then we're going to say return taste pie. It's actually taste pie because I don't know how to spell. It doesn't matter though, as long as it matches. Pie, task pie, return task pie, just like that. Boom, done. There we go. And that right there is a function, pie function. Delicious. Well, it's not even a pie function, it's just calculating 3.14, which is pi, right? Maybe I'm confused about that, but I could have sworn that's what it was. By the square of the number that was input. So that's what this accomplishes. So why do that here instead of actually in the code itself? It's a great question. Let's get rid of this nonsense here. So what we're going to want to do is prompt the user first. Actually, before you do anything else, you should be declaring the variables that you're going to be using in the main script, which this is what this is, main. All right, so first we're going to go ahead and declare an integer of number. Okay, that'll be the number that the user enters in. We're going to say fin number, just like that. And I think that should be it. So next we're going to say print f, which, yes, I know this isn't a normal way to push stuff out onto a console. I know the std semicolon or whatever the hell these things are called, and then cout is a normal way, but for the sake of using id1 or whatever the hell you want to say this compiler, we're going to be doing printf because that's the way that I'm learning it right now in school, and so I'm trying to stay with that. So we're going to print this out to the user. We're going to say please enter in a integer. Integer, if I could spell. Like I said, we're going to hit that, and then we're going to go like this, and then that. This is how you move down to the next line, or have it move down to the next line. If I didn't do this every time I would print something out, it would just string it along, and you don't want to do that. So you want, please enter in a n integer, because it's a fucking, dear God, an integer. There you go. Go to the next line. So for the input portion of it, and I know that scanf _s is the proper, it's a more secure form of input for the user, but for whatever ungodly reason, this compiler does not like that, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to do scanf, and we're going to say, since this is an integer that we're adding, we're going to say %d for the integer, and then we're going to comma, and then we're going to tell the basically, you can tell the compiler what variable the user is filling and with what. So we're going to say this is for number. There we go. So now when the user enters in, like, say 3, it's going to know that the variable number equals 3. without actually having to say number equals 3. We're not going to do that. So now that the number has been added, I'm going to return it back to the user so they are aware of what they have entered, and I'm going to say you have entered, and then again D, right, and then we're going to comma, and we're going to say, hey, this is the variable number, right? But what did I forget? There you go. Break to next line. And then next, we're going to want to go ahead and call the function that we created above here. Okay, it's too easy. So what we're going to do is tell the compiler that the integer, actually that might have to be, yeah, my bad. We don't want that to be an integer because it's going to be a number with a decimal point probably on it. So we're going to say the float is fin number. Okay, so down here we're going to say fin number is going to equal, and then we'll do pi, and then we'll say for a, which is the only thing that's in here, we're going to say number, just like that. There we go. So then we're going to go ahead and say print f, right? Again, put the semicolon in the end so we don't forget it, and you're gonna see the result of, and we're gonna say delta or whatever the variable, whatever number they entered in, multiplied by, we'll just say that, and then we'll say multiplied again by 3.14 is, and then we'll put in the f, which is the fin number. So d, again the %d equals integers, while %f equals both doubles and floats. Doubles are larger than floats, and there's a couple other types too that you should learn for displaying variable types to the user, but in this case it's f for the float. So now what it's going to say is the result of, let's say we entered 2, so the result of 2 times 2 will be times 3.414 is, and then I'll enter the total there, which should enter that. Okay, so that's that. That's the end of it. That's nothing else needs to be done besides putting the admin notes in. So let's see if this hunk of junk works. Actually, you know what? I'm going to have to enter input. Yeah, here it is. So we're going to say 2. So that's the only, it's only asking for one thing, right? Just that. So let's see what happens. Running, and there you go. The result of 0 times 0, so I messed something up. It ran successfully, but there was something wrong with the syntax, so let's take a look here. So I might just need to make this also, you know why? Because of that right there. No, that's right. Yeah, make it a float. And we're just going to move this guy down to here and comment this one out. See if that helps. Get back over there and try it again. Wow, I've messed something up entirely. Oh yeah, because now that both of them are, so I gotta say F. Oh, that's why. Oh man. Okay, so I've made a fatal error. Let's fix everything that I changed. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what did I forget here? The same thing that I forgot, almost forgot there. So I've got to tell what it's printing out, what you're, the hell, I also forgot that too. Number, that's right. Okay, yeah, so let's go ahead and tell it what variables are going to be coming or filling in those slots. So first of all, number again, and then fin number. That should do it. There we go. And that's the solution we were looking for. Here, I'll clear this out so we can see it and there's no confusion there. So what were we looking for? 12.56. What do we got? 12.56. Just like that. That's it. That's as easy as functions get. So anytime you're making a function for your program, don't declare the function on top and then define the function on the bottom. That doesn't make any sense. Declare the function and define the function on top, like I did here. If you had more than one number, like different numbers, you can do int A, int B, int C, all the way out to the end of the alphabet, and etc. Or whatever integers you want to make. And then you can make this as complicated as you want. Any kind of algorithm you want to automate, just anything you write an entire script within a function and make the actual script, the main script itself, call a complicated function into it. It's very versatile. It's a great feature to scripting as I'm learning it. So if there's any questions you guys have, I will do my best to answer them. I would encourage you guys, those who are going through school and learning this stuff, don't forget your admin portion of it, adding your descriptions of what's going on. So that way then not only your teacher but other students can look at your work and understand what you did, and hopefully you can help them as well. So that's it, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.